In this lesson, we will deal with how to go about defining your customer. A great way to narrow down your customer definition is to create personas of the customer you are targeting. If you've been keenly watching the children in your neighborhood and their love of video games, then model your personas around key observations that are related to how they consume video games. Model those personas around their gaming preferences, such as when do they play, what informs their decisions to play, how they pay, and generally how much they're willing to spend. What is it exactly that draws them to these video games? What do they care about the most? What are they not willing to compromise on? And what are they willing to put up with that they don't necessarily like but is not a deal breaker? Pay close attention to what they get out of the game, depending on what the need is, the consumption preference, and the spending pattern. A number of customer types may emerge, and you want to make sure that you cater for the slight variances that define each customer type, especially if it majorly impacts purchasing decisions and is a big theme in terms of the patterns you've observed. A great way to start quantifying your customer types is to break down your needs, preferences, and patterns from the personas that you've been able to come up with. The deal here is not to come up with all the personas that could potentially exist, but rather personas that realistically represent the kind of groups of customers you anticipate to be serving. Customer type definition should ideally be derived from value proposition. That is, a variation in the value proposition gives birth to a different customer type. However, in some instances, it can be difficult to quantify a value proposition variation, which then lands one in a chicken and egg situation. Personas and the breaking down of preferences offers a simpler way to arrive at value proposition variations and customer types more logically. Thinking out your personas, either from intuition, observation, or research, in the terms relevant to your business, will make it easier to unearth the key information that you require. It's important to note that this information should not dictate how you should position your product. If you've got a creative or innovative way in which your potential customers would find more enjoyable or convenient to consume your product or service, thus giving birth to a new preference, then by all means, disrupt away. Having this information, however, will give you a window into how you can realistically or strategically position or operationalize your innovation within your chosen market. Finding keywords in the descriptions of your personas can also help unearth key information required in building your customer centric model. These keywords will help inch you closer to defining the key concepts of value proposition, pricing considerations, and potential product or service mix. Next, refer back to your customer centric model and then group your keywords according to the themes that will help you inch closer to defining your model. Some keywords can fall in multiple themes. Remember, this is a journey of discovery. There's no need to get unnecessarily rigid. Just go with the flow. Also, remember that at this point, these are just considerations. They don't bind you to what your product or service mix should be or what your value proposition should be. They mainly give you an idea of what will potentially work in this market and key aspects you need to seriously consider. Your defined customer will evolve over time, and so will your customer types. Go with it. It's natural for people's needs and preferences to change over time. Limitations also tend to fall away sometimes. This year data is expensive, next year data is freely, widely, or affordably available. And now to recap, think about and map out your personas, either from intuition, observation, or research, in the terms relevant to your business. Using your personas, break down your key attributes, needs, preferences, and patterns. Find keywords in the descriptions of your personas to help you inch closer to defining your value proposition, pricing considerations, and potential product or service mix. Group your keywords according to the key elements highlighted in your customer centric model. Finally, your journey of discovery should lead you to defining what you believe would be your typical customer. And that's it. We're now ready to move on and define our value proposition.